Hey guys, and welcome back to the TEC Gauntlet Season 1 powered by WD Black and AMD Ryzen Radeon. We're here with the second half today, and we're very excited because it's going to be between Team VALOR and Godlike Esports. Joining me on the analyst desk here, we do have caster Redbro and analyst CA. Redbro, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling really excited because Godlike Esports, whenever they're on the field, they're always an exciting force to watch. So I'm really looking forward to this one.
All right, and CA, how are you feeling being back once again?
I mean, I'm just pumped for this matchup, especially because I feel like Godlike is the sort of team that always carries a hype, but almost never do we get to see the full potential. I think this might be truly the time where we get to see Godlike completely explode and take over. But on the other hand, Valor just as good. I want to see them brave and fearless today.
All right, let's just have a quick look at today's matches. I just want to give you guys a little bit of a recap. Earlier in the first half, we did have Force One go up against Simple, and Force One took that win for themselves. And right now, coming up, it's going to be Team VALOR versus Godlike Esports. Team VALOR, a very brave, very courageous team. They're ready to come here and show us what they have. They've been around for a while now, and they're a bit of a threat here. And Godlike Esports, I think there's a lot of expectations behind this particular team, but you know, they always never fail to impress. So let's bring up the group standings and have a quick look. Remember these matches in Group A, and here we do see it. So right up there on the board, we can see Global Esports Team Inazuma and Force One Esports, all with 1 win and 2 points. Force One Simple and Team Insignia, they did take 1 map for themselves in that best of 3. So therefore they do get 1 point each. Whereas unfortunate for Tempest there, they didn't manage to secure a map, so no points for them. And right now, Team VALOR versus Godlike Esports. After this match, we'll be able to see the rankings for Group A and Group B. So let's begin with Team VALOR. All right, CA, tell us about Team VALOR.
So Team Valor has a lot of known names, like the team name itself, not as much known as the players themselves. Like we know Buster, we know Pixels, we know Strokey, and then, of course, in the game coming in, every single one of these players we've seen before on our tournaments, and together they come together to form a bit of a rebellious squad where they're trying to take down the foundational tier one teams. I want to see them really play around Buster, especially. He's been one of the standout players on every single squad we've seen all around, and I'm excited to see him in action, particularly on that duelist role. And Buster gets onto that Phoenix arena, it can go ham for any team.
All right, what are your thoughts on Team VALOR, Ripro?
Well, they'll be looking to put on a show for us today against a team like Godlike. Well, like CA said, they have to play around Buster, utilize his dueling capabilities, and just understand the fact that they have to play as a team in order to circumvent this sort of challenge. So I'm really looking forward to how they actually settle down as a team, get their strategy on board, and really execute it to perfection.
All right, now let's pull up the player spotlight by AMD Ryzen Radeon. And from the side of Team VALOR, it's going to be Pixels that will be in the spotlight. You know, Viper pick, the moment we see that, CA gets very excited. Let us know what you're thinking here, CA.
I mean, Pixels doubles down on that. Not only does he play the Viper, I'm pretty sure he also plays the Astra for the team. So he's like the ideal controller you want. I also believe, like, I'm not sure who exactly Valor's IGL is, but Pixels very, very good at making reads happen, like understanding the tendencies of your opponents and punishing them for it. So I'm gonna look to see if he can pull off that sort of performance here against God. Like you can see from his stats, he doesn't lack necessarily in the aim department, but what he's really known for, at least from my perspective, is the fact that he is that perfect controller. He knows when to stay back, but he also knows when he needs to push forward. The lurking, especially coming into play. I want to see him just be that slithering Astra, getting into the corners that Godlike leaves unchecked to help his team just sort of pry them open piece by piece.
All right. So now let's head over to the other team here, and that is going to be Godlike Esports. Let's have a quick look at them. Rip, bro, when it comes to Godlike Esports, what comes to mind?
Or whatever, when we look at godlike esports, of course quality, strategy, and all-out action are the things that we always think about when we see players like Rexy. You see players like with Witty as well. That's when you think that godlike esports has the potential to always come out on top. As he has always said, we don't normally get to see that potential being relived or replicated in game, but we do want to see that happening today, and that's what I'm looking forward to.
All right, CA, thoughts on Godlike Esports?
So for Godlike Esports, ever since we've seen the team come into Valorant in December, it always felt like they were a superstar roster, a roster that had the best of the best players to try and take down the teams that were in the top one and two. They're regularly a team in our top five, if not top three standings, but they've never been able to push for that championship itself. And that's where I think the roster change they made recently can be their antidote. I'm sorry, the fun was intended, but antidote really coming in from a Velocity slash Team Mahi. He's already, we know him as a known quantity that can change games by himself, that can change rounds by himself. And I feel like he's that last piece of the puzzle that Godlike really need to make their push all the way, not just to the finals, but to the championship. And I want to see that. I want to see them start that right now, right here. The journey has to be good from the start. You can't let a bump get in the way. And for Godlike Esports, that's exactly how they need to look at it over here.
All right, so let's pull up the player spotlight by AMD Ryzen Radeon, and today we're gonna have Antidote in the spotlight. Ripro, so looking at this, it does seem that he hasn't had much games. What are you thinking about Antidote?
Right, the stats don't necessarily do a player like Antidote justice, honestly. But the way that he plays his duelist is absolutely aggressive, clearing out space for his team, getting into advanced positions on the side, really opens up a lot of opportunities for his team to push up and just secure those angles really comfortably. And that's what you seek out from a good duelist player, the ability to just go in, take the charge, take the opening frags, use their utilities to in the perfect positions. And Antidote is someone who's known for that. I'm really looking forward to seeing more of that sort of mentality coming out from him throughout the course of this entire series.
All right, so let's head over into the map veto screen. We're just going to talk about the map picks that were done for today. Now, this is again between Team Valor and Godlike Esports. So let's begin with map number one. This map, Ascent, picked by Godlike Esports, and starting out on the defensive side, that's going to be Team Valor. So Godlike, they'll be on the attacking side. CA, how do you think this is going to play out particularly?
I mean, when you think of Ascent and Godlike, I instantly think of Heaven and Deathmaker, that duo with the Breach and Jack combo, their aggression that comes through with the way DM is sort of set up to just get multi-kill after multi-kill, and the leader Heaven really is to be able to facilitate that round after round in different positions. They have combo ready for any possible scenario, and they're able to use that very, very well. I do want to see though today if we're going to see that breach jet or if we're going to see a more stand-up playstyle, because if we do see that breach, then I expect the jet raise from DM and Antidote, and both of them just charging forward while Havan sets them up. It's going to be a very difficult map for Valor because they need to make to shut down Havan, especially on that breach. If you don't take him out, he's the primary playmaker of the team.
All right, and then for map number two, we're going to have Bind picked by Team Valor, and starting out on the defensive side, it's going to be Godlike Esports. Now, this map in particular, it was picked by Team Valor. They will start out on attack, and it does get a little bit tricky here on Bind. How do you think this will play out, Ridbro?
I feel like the play for Godlike picking up defense on Bind is just the absolute right decision. Bind being a defensive oriented map, you do want to smoke out those corridors, those narrow corridors that the attackers are going to get funneled through, and just spray it down, or use utilities to push to postpone their push on towards the site. Even if they do see the face of the site, there's so many retake angles that you need to figure out if you need to like actually have a proper post plant situation going on. A Sage is going to be really useful in cutting off those angles and cutting off the rotational angles coming in from the defenders if you're an attacker. So I'm gonna have to see how Valor actually, circumvents that sort of a position. Like CA said, Ascent is gonna be a difficult map for Valor to play in because Godlike favors that. The second map might be a bit more difficult as well because for their opponents, they're going up against them on defense, so they need to secure at least 4 to 5 points on attack if they want to go into the second half with a comfortable position to be in order to have a sort of a cushion for them to rest on.
All right. And if we do get into the decider, nothing is impossible. We just came out of a best of three where all three maps were played in the first half. So in the event, here in the second half, we do get to map three. That's the decider map. And on Haven, starting out on the defensive side, it will be Godlike Esports in defense and Team Valor in attack. Now, CA, how do you think that will play out? Do you think the third map is technically in more favor of Godlike Esports or Team Valor?
I think if it gets to Haven, then starting on the attack definitely more favorable for both of the teams in general. So Valor will be happier than Godlike going into Haven, especially because then I'm pretty sure we'll get to see Buster on that Phoenix, and that pick really is what makes him shine the most. Now, on the other hand, similarly for Godlike, Deathmaker on the operator, the way Haven can be used for those prime operator players is effectively a win condition. So I feel like the odds are stacked for both of the teams, but slightly in favor of Godlike only because I've seen Deathmaker pull off 40 kills on Haven, and that's just something you cannot forget.
Indeed, so approaching this match, it's gonna begin very soon. Bro, I would like to ask you, if you were Godlike Esports and you're going into this game up against Team Valor, what would be key pointers you keep in mind? Just so that you're safe, you have a foolproof plan or strategy up against Team Valor.
So definitely, looking at the map picks and the side picks that Godlike have chosen or they've been funneled onto, it does favor them for the first two games, and they have the individual skill to back it up. It all comes down to nailing the fundamentals as a team, strategizing well, knowing your angles, understanding how to attack and how to circumvent a push coming out from Valor, because they're going to go very aggressive against a team that they need to stack up against. So Buster's going to be there with the Phoenix. You need to shut him down. You need to prevent Valor from playing onto that particular, like playing around him, and really stop him in his tracks early on so that you can get to the rest of the team in the subsequent rounds as well. For Godlike Esports, they already know what to do. They already have the individual skill. Like I've already said, it's all about the strategy and the execution as to how they want to approach each and every single round. And Valor, I'm looking to have. I'm anticipating they're gonna have a few tricks up their sleeve. So Godlike need to anticipate that as well.
All right. Now, CA, similar question to you. If you were Team Valor, what kind of headspace would you get into going up against team like Godlike Esports? Because if you look at the scene, right, Godlike, they have been around for ages. So has Team Valor. We've seen these
Yeah.
names. I would believe, both these teams, they're familiar with each other. So from the perspective of Team Valor, how would you approach this upcoming match?
I mean, normally I would say something like, I want Team Valor to be brave. I want Team Valor to be fearless because I know they have the capability to be. But I'm going to say that I know they can do that and they will do that because they've already been in this situation. As you said, these players, we know them. They've had the taste of success when they take down top tier teams. Therefore, they know the formula, the protocol really for your mindset and your mental going into this game. And that's the most important part. Like, of course, you can't let go of the fact that players like Deathmaker, Antidote really cracked White Horse insanely good. But for Valor, it's all about working together as a unit, trying to find the gaps, the chinks in the armor when those players actually try to make those solo plays. If you can punish the solo plays, the combo plays that Godlike really favors, then you can shut them down instantly. And the only way you're going to be able to do that is with effective communication, effective coordination, and just denial of the win conditions that Godlike really has. I think Valor definitely capable, especially with the players they've got. So I'm excited to see what they've got in store for today.
All right, so we're gonna begin very shortly. Just a last question, Red Bro. Um, who are some players you would like to let the viewers know to keep an eye out for?
I'm gonna go with only one player. That's gonna be Deathmaker. On that jet, on a good day, the operator plays that are gonna come out from him are just absolutely phenomenal. So if the camera's on Deathmaker, you want to pay more attention to the screen because he's gonna pull out something magical every single time.
All right, same question to you, CA.
I'm gonna go for Team Valor. I think you gotta keep your eyes off of Strokey. If he gets going, we've seen that before as well. The one taps he's able to hit are always
Oh yeah.
disgusting, and he's the sort of player that can be both supportive and aggressive, so has a lot of versatility. I think if Valor are to take this all the way to 3 maps and win the series, Strokey has to be an X factor for it.
All right, it's so exciting, so exhilarating. These two teams, they've got so much experience in the competitive scene, and now they're going to face off against each other. It is their first match in Group A. So, guys, do stay tuned. Remember, you can scan the QR code that will pop up later, and you can claim your Red Bull can. And also, remember to like and subscribe, hit that bell icon so you get notifications whenever we are live. You are going to want to follow the entirety of the TEC Gauntlet Season 1 powered by WD Black and AMD Ryzen Radeon. So we'll start with the match and head over to the caster's desk where we will have Red Bro and I do believe Crips who will be casting the maps for you guys today. So stay tuned. We'll be back after these messages.
The three things you didn't know about me. So the first one is when I was in school, I didn't take a single day leave from the first grade till the ninth grade. I mean, in the 10th grade, I did take leave, but not even a single day for like 9 straight years. I didn't take any leave. So the second thing is the first time I saw a video game was when I was ill and my mom took me to a family doctor and his son was playing a video game, I mean PlayStation 1 and he was playing Mario on it. So I got kind of fascinated and I cried for at least 2 days to get that PlayStation and then my mom had to give me, but she gave PlayStation 2 then. Another thing is when I was 15, I used to play good snooker, decent snooker, and I once thought that I would be going professional and making a career in playing snooker.
And
Hey
ladies
guys,
and gentlemen, welcome to the Asterisk. I'm sorry, Chris, for interrupting you there. If you just joined us, this is the TEC Gauntlet Season 1 powered by AMD Ryzen and WD Black. We have an amazing match for you. This is Team Valor versus Godlike Gaming, Godlike Esports. So, Crips, how are you feeling about this one?
I just watched Godlike Esports take on Samurai Esports today morning, like a couple of hours ago, and they lost that game 2-0. So I hope that Godlike Esports have learned from their mistakes, and I kind of feel like these guys must have had very little time to practice in between games. So I don't know what their mentality is, but Team Valor, I feel like they should be able to dig deep today, do a little bit of damage. I'm not sure if they can actually win, but they can definitely cause a little bit of damage and maybe have a little bit of upset potential.
So definitely, we're gonna be looking towards Valor Esports to try and circumvent this challenge posed by Godlike in this particular match, in this particular best of 3 series. So if you're gonna go quickly over to the map veto screen and really see which particular map they're gonna play on, it's gonna be Ascent. The first map is gonna be Ascent, while the defense is gonna be Team Valor attacking Godlike Esports. So how do you feel about that one?
I feel a little worried. Why would Godlike pick Ascent? And more importantly, why would Valor pick Bind? Godlike literally play Bind 24/7. It happens to be their strongest map. If Valor are picking up Bind and Godlike is fine with it, then they will be more than happy. I mean, sure, Godlike picks up Ascent thinking it would be decent enough, but then I'm kind of worried if if Team Valor have done their homework or not, because Bind, I'm pretty sure it happens to be one of the strongest maps of Godlike Esports. And if Valor are actually picking it up, they might have either done some homework or they haven't done it at all. There's literally no in between.
Maybe they just want to beat Godlike at their own game, and this might be just a
Jeez.
very risky play right there.
That's a statement.
Definitely, they probably do want to make a statement at this point. The third map being that Haven, the Decider map. It's a really, really unpredictable map, honestly. It's very attacker oriented, but then again, the 3 sites do add that unique taste to it. So it can go either way at that point because you have really good attackers on both these teams. For Godlike, you have people like Deathmaker. On Valor, you have people like Buster. So both these duelists they're going to be basically working overtime and trying to carry their team to victory in that particular attack oriented map. But let me know your thoughts on the Decider map that they've chosen for themselves.
I think a lot of this stuff will not even go down to the decider map. If Godlike Esports are happy with the pick that they've got, if they're happy with Ascent, and if they are actually looking to win this, I don't think we might be even seeing Haven today. Of course, that is assuming that Team Valor don't make a statement on Bind like we kind of expect them to. If this does go to Haven, I feel like it will be a very long, drawn-out map. It might just even, reach the score lines of something around 13-9, 13-10. But I have a feeling that Godlike might walk away with this one on top.
So team compositions on Ascent, we do want to see controllers like Astra and Viper being utilized even more. Astra being the more meta pick right now on Ascent, but do you think both these teams might just go for an off meta pick in terms of their controller?
In terms of controller, no. I don't think they might pick a Viper. They might even swap it out with an Omen, but that depends on how comfortable these players are with their controllers. If they're good with Astra, fine. If they still pick an Omen, I think that should be fine as well. At the end of the day, it just really depends on how comfortable you are. And that I think that's the same case with Duelist as well.
Right, definitely. And being Astra being the more meta focused controller right now, the really, really popular pick throughout every single tournament that we've seen. We've seen it in VCT, we've seen it in this particular tournament as well. On Ascent, she's just really, really super powerful. Knowing the fact that you can use her a lot on defense, you can utilize her utilities on attack as well to circumvent cut off those sidelines, allowing your duelists to push up. But in terms of these Sentinels, we have seen Killjoy being dominating the pickup lines for, the lineups for a lot of the teams right now. But what do you think about this? Like, why was Cypher kind of sort of phased out of the meta and Killjoy just got brought back?
Well, to be honest, if Killjoy can control so much room, stop people, and buy time, I think that's the only reason why people might prefer Killjoy. Sure, Cypher can be just as effective and just as deadly, but imagine using those swarm grenades just to keep people at bay and allowing your teammates to rotate, help you out more. Because eventually, people will walk through them. The trap fire is not going to be there forever, neither are the swarm grenades. So I guess all the Sentinels need to do is just hold down the sides for long enough to allow for rotations. And given the way Godlike have been playing, these guys, they try to go for fakes, double fakes, they try to activate their big brains, and yeah, you are gonna need a little bit of time to actually figure out what Godlike is gonna do.
Definitely. I feel like the Killjoy also allows for like certain amounts of deployability because you can just call back your gadgets from from like
Yeah.
insane ranges like globally, unless of course you're a Cypher where you need to like be in line of vision of your gadgets in order to call them back. So if you're, let's say, set up on A, you somehow have to scope out through mid and then you make a rotation through B, you're gonna have to go back all the way towards A side, pick up your trap wires and your camera, and go ahead and like try to utilize that on mid so that you're safe from a flanking. But that's
Yeah.
not the case with Killjoy. She can just recall it while she's on the rotation. Godlike Esport, they are comfortable with picking up the breach. So what do you think about that? We've seen a lot of Sky. We haven't really seen a lot of breach in like competitive tournaments.
Honestly, I'm really excited to see what happens when one of these teams end up picking beaches. Usually Sova is the choice of initiator, right? And he's more of a staple pick on Ascent. But if these teams decide to go with a Sova and a Breach, that's going to open up a lot of possibilities. They might even go for a side which is kind of like pseudo Sova, pseudo Breach, somewhere in between them. But she has so much. How do I say this? So much versatility. People try to fulfill too many roles with her, and they end up doing absolutely nothing by not creating enough impact in any of the situations unless they're a really, really good Sky player. I'm not sure if they will be able to actually pick it up. Yeah, Breach, on the other hand, might be really useful. We've seen Breach Jet combos, but are they outdated? Are they still in the meta? Who knows?
We're gonna have to see, but we are facing a little bit of difficulty getting into the game at this point, so you're gonna have to bear with us a little bit longer. So predictions: do you think this is gonna go into game 3? I know we've already addressed this, but for the first game, who would you lay your money on?
For the first game, given that it's Ascent, I think Team Valor might have a chance, even though Godlike are the ones who picked this up. I've known Buster and Strokey for a long time. I used to play CS 1.6 with them, and these guys, when they get up together, these guys trade really, really well. And at the end of the day, when all plans go out of the window, when all shit goes south, when your strategies are not working, it just boils down to the basic trades and fundamentals. And at
Right.
that point, having core chemistry is essential. So let's say on the side of Team Godlike, we have the deadly duo of Deathmaker and Antidote. These guys have known each other since donkey's years. Same with Strokey and Buster on the side of Team Valor. So it's gonna boil down to these trades, and these two duelists are gonna have to step up for their team time and again.
Definitely, and it looks to be that in Valorant it is akin to a lot of the games that it's based on. So they're gonna have to rely on their aim duels a lot. But we're gonna be right back after a few messages. We're gonna go into the match real quick. So don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the TEC Gauntlet Season 1, powered by WD Black and AMD Ryzen Radiant. This is a match between VALOR and GODLIKE. We're going to get into the first map, which is Ascent. And it's going to be looking like the standard picks so far coming out from GODLIKE and VALOR. But then again, Crips, we talked about the Omen pick being, covered over, and they are going to go for it. Whitehorse picking up that Omen instead of the Astra.
Yeah, that's actually surprising because Whitehorse has, really been comfortable with the Astra. And given the choice between Omen and Astra, if you are comfortable with Astra, I would have expected him to pick this one, but maybe he has some plans in mind. So now we have GODLIKE on 3 mobility heroes, the Jet, the Raze, and the Omen. All of them can move cover distance quickly. Hairone playing the Breach. So that's surprising to me as well. And Rexy, as usual, on Sova. That's the only thing that's not really surprising to me.
Right, definitely. And now looking at the team composition so far in the overall scene of things. Right, so picking up that Omen, really, really interesting. I want to see how they actually circumvent the lack of utility that they won't have. I mean, the utility that they won't have, given the fact that they don't have an Astra, like the Gravity Well and the Concussion. These are 2 critical skills that you really need in order to like have an effective defense and an effective offense to flush out enemy team members holding on to like particular corners of the site. But the Paranoia is really, really good when used in conjunction with the Duelist pushing on towards the site, especially on B. So we're gonna have to see how it actually goes down. But it looks to be another technical difficulty that we're gonna face off against again, unfortunately.
Yeah, you're really on the nail about that paranoia over there. But let's be honest, that's not the deadliest flash in the server. You've got 3 big flashes in the hands of that Breach, and you better bring your sunglasses because this man will definitely put your eyes down in the dust, grind them until they are powder, and then snot them.
Well, that is a imaginative thought right there with a Breach player. But then again, playing against Breaches or even Skies, that's how oppressive it feels. You're holed up in a site, a comfortable sentinel, and you're just holding there. You're waiting for your team to like make the call that they're pushing on towards A or B. Soon enough, your monitor is just bright white, and you can't see anything, and you're blinded for like 5 seconds before you can recover, before your eyes can even recover in real life. So that's something that, Team VALOR, they're going to have to like deal with throughout the course of this game. But we are going to go back into the game, ladies and gentlemen. You don't have to wait for longer. The players have started. The match is underway. We're really excited to get this started, Crips. So far, it has been an amazing tournament, and looking at this entire matchup, looking at the quality of the players, the caliber of the players on score, the teams on the score for us today, I don't expect anything less than an exciting best of 3 series.
Oh, this is definitely going to be exciting. And right off the bat, we can already see these players line up. Let's take a look at the setup right now. We have the players on the attacking side already starting off. Multiple people just outside of B-Link with only Whitehorse up on top of mid. So it does seem to me like maybe an A-short attack is an auto or maybe a mid to B split. But so far, they're going to take it nice and slow. GODLIKE Esports not really trying to aggress too much. Just starting to creep up down mid. They will. Oh, the Gravity Will is actually going to make things worse, but he dashes out to safety just in the nick of time. Pixel dodges the flash as well, but here's the backup, and it has arrived. Multiple members of Team VALOR ready to stop GODLIKE Esports in their tracks.
Ready to stop GODLIKE in their tracks, definitely. We do see 2 members, GODLIKE, Deathmaker, and ended up falling at the onset of the round, but VL Buster and Pixels are going to get taken down. Hyvon getting the last kill on towards the board here. He's going to try and flash on towards mid. VL Bullet holding that. He does have the recon dart, spots it out towards that particular side. He spots the Omen out, Whitehorse. He knows that Whitehorse is there. The Breach comes out, the Concussion comes out as a perfect distraction. Bullet did not anticipate that Rexy will be holding on towards that B main area. But it's going to be up to VL Strokey here, along with the game. He's holding on towards his A-short area with the frenzy. He hears the reload, but oh my goodness, a disgusting shot by Whitehorse with the ghost towards the head of the game. This absolutely gets taken down, but it's going to mean a lot of problem for GODLIKE. The spike has been dropped towards mid.
Yeah, that's not the
Ryzen
problem that they
down.
expected to deal with right now. They thought they had control of the side. Most of the players were present over there. And as soon as they figured out that Valor were rotating most of their players towards mid, they fell back just in time to avoid danger. But Strokey avoids that fault line. First shot onto Whitehorse. It's just a 1v1. The Aftershock is going to force him out straight into his eyes. Strokey with a quad kill clutches this round out. What a wonderful performance by this man. They had him cornered from both the sides, but in the process of putting down all that utility, Heaven forgot that Strokey can always swing wide and just fight him.
Definitely, that round looked to be Valor going in really aggressively, taking down two critical players, Antidote and Deathmaker, right clean off the board at the onset of the round, and it looked to be a really comfortable round. However, Rexy, along with Whitehorse, they managed to pull back 2 kills and looked to be all but lost for Valor. But that critical kill in mid, dropping the spike in a very delicate situation, just prompted Godlike to make those aggressive pushes on towards Strokey. And he's not the sort of player who's going to let those challenges go unanswered. He's going to fight you head on and not get scared. And that is exactly what he did. Pixels gets a shot through the wall on towards Antidote. That's going to mean that the B main side has been opened up. There's no one holding switches. They do have 2 members right now on towards that B main area. The site is now clear to try and push onto, but they know that the defenders are there. Buster holding onto this A-short area. He's going to spot out Whitehorse cautiously approaching. Bullet along with that gravity wall. He's going to try and find a few shock darts. As a recon dart in tow, he's going to spot out one member here. Rexy peek anticipating a push here. He might just regret it pushing against the structure. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, Hyvan gets taken down, but Deathmaker's the one on site. He's the sole surviving member for Godlike in this B spot position. He only has 20 HP to work, and a ghost. Strokey, though, again, the menacing headshots coming out from him. He's been absolutely crisp this entire game.
Delivering frags again and again and again. The best part was the Team Valor did not take too many casualties this round. You can see how Godlike were trying to split up and gather more information, hopefully find a pick or two, and then rotate the spike over towards that side. And the best part is the fact that these guys did not lose a lot of players, so they can have their armor, they can carry it forward into the next round. Sure, they will be having only Spectres, and that does mean that Godlike might walk away with better weaponry over here. It's a bonus round anyway, so Team Valor just trying to minimize losses.
The game, though, doesn't find a shot on towards Antidote there. He's going to regret peeking out. Hyvan with the headshot through the corner of the wall. That's going to mean that the A-short area has to be covered by Buster in this particular position. They did go for a bonus round. They have the Spectre in tow. The Recon Dart's going to try and spot him out towards that garden area. Meanwhile, Bullet, you see him pushing up aggressively along with Pixels in that area. The Boombot's going to spot him out. They know that one member has pushed up aggressively through B main. They need to watch their back at this point. Antidote contemplating a push out. He knows that the Cypher camera is there. The gravity well goes down. Godlike Rexy finds a shot to Buster through the smoke here, but BL Pixels is going to take down 2 members on catwalk through headshots with the Phantom here. It's going to mean that Antidote has to try and contest this. They're now isolated in this particular point of the map. A short and A main. They have members all across the board here. Strokey again with the headshots. What are you doing here? He gets absolutely critical kills on towards that A main area. Shoots one out, wide swings, gets the other one. Antidote is the last man standing here, but he can't find that duel with Strokey. My goodness, this man has been absolutely dominating every single fight he's gone on to. 8-0 to KDA after just 3 rounds. My goodness, he is playing out of his mind.
The fact that these guys figured out that Godlike are no longer heading towards the B side and decided to push out itself is the one factor that actually won them the round. They were on the backstab before these guys could even reach the catwalk area. Stroking in that triple kill was just like a cherry on top of the cake. They were trapped over there. They had nowhere left to go. And even if Strokey died, I believe that Valor could have pulled that round off.
Definitely, they were in such an advantageous position, but at this point, Strokey is just such a menace at this point. The game, though, getting himself on the scoreboard again with that operator is going to mean that the infragger has been taken down. The raised utility is not available for them to push into. Right now, Godlike look to be contemplating a push on towards A, but they do have the spike on towards B main. This is a very precarious situation for Hyvan to be in. The shock darts are going to rain on towards him. He promptly peeks back. He might not just go towards mid, knowing that the operator is posted up towards that mid-market area.
But Hyvan is all by himself and the spike's with him. Usually, whenever there's a little bit of lull in the action, we have Team Valor trying to push out B, trying to gather information. If they do so right now, they could have got Hevan, but he just went back towards the attacking spawn. And maybe if they don't push now, they might be in a little bit of trouble. Most of the players are huddling up outside the A main area now, so Strokey's gonna have a big job to do once again.
Unfortunately, he doesn't find the shot on towards him, and too many sheriff shots just coupled with a lot of damage in that particular point of the map. This means that he's gonna go down. The game, though, he switched to the Phantom. The Phantom antidote is really, really low. He still peeks out, knowing that the Breach Flash is gonna keep him safe against any player holding onto that heaven area. The game and Buster, along with Bullet, they're gonna approach this particular site right now. Rexy holding onto this A short area. The Flash does go down, prompting a peek out from it. He has the Recon Dart to work with here. Bullet finds a kill through the corner of A heaven. Rexy takes down Buster, but Pixels is right there with a trade, and unfortunately, Hyvan gets surrounded from both ends of the site. And VALOR taking the fight to Godlike. In this attacking round, Godlike have yet to find themselves on the scoreboard here. The next round is going to be critical for them. It's going to be another buy round coming up for them, but if they lose that one out, they will surely have a disadvantage going into the next one, because they will not be bringing in a lot of credits if they do lose out this one.
Let's take a look at what information Godlike have with themselves right now. They know that VALOR like to push out B main whenever they get the chance, but they do not push out on A main. That is where Strokey plays with the Cypher. So if there is a chance of getting early picks, maybe catching Team VALOR, overextending, that might just happen towards the B side. And that's why you can see that whenever these guys play on a default, they tend to not go A main very early on in the round. They try to hold off aggressing over there and then play it slowly, knowing that they can't punish the aggression on A. But they can do so on B, so let's see if they continue heading towards that area. For now, it's gonna be in Catwalk, it's another attempt to take Catwalk control yet again. And so far, Godlike have been successful. They usually reach gardens, but after that, when they get to the side, is when things start falling apart. Let's see if they can fix those mistakes now.
They do have a lot of utilities to fight off against. You do see that Bullet use that recon drone right in the nick of time, spotting out Antidote, and VL the game is right there with the operator, taking him down. Deathmaker finds himself in advanced position, takes down Buster. Unfortunately, he had the Reyna ultimate online. The Empress will not find a kill, but the game, though, finding kills left, right, and center through that A main area. He's on an ace at this point, 4 kills to his name. Deathmaker, he does not want to push up towards this. He knows that the game has taken up an advanced position near that box area. He's going to try and contemplate someone over there. Oh my goodness, someone's practiced their micro shot today. VL Bullet takes another bullet to the head. The Satchel Charge is going to come out, but that's not good enough to circumvent the aim of the game. And he gets an ace for himself with the operator. Oh my god. VALOR, their VALOR at this point, their vigor that they've been showing throughout the entire defensive side, getting 5 points right off the bat of the game, might just prove to be a really, really huge dent for the morale of Godlike.
And it's not even like it's a close round. No. Most of the times they have 3 or 4 players still alive. It was only in the pistol round where it boiled down to a 1v1 between Strokey and Hevan. So them keeping their players alive, retaining economy, getting aces, they don't just have the momentum of the economy going in their favor, but also the confidence. And like I said, Godlike usually do manage to get up to Catwalk without problems. They get inside gardens as well. Problems begin when they reach the site. I said it in the last round, I'm gonna say it again. And this time they don't even want to go towards the A site. They think it's unlucky. They're gonna try their luck with B.
Now you see that Pixels is using his utilities to great effect here, circumventing a push coming out from Godlike. They only have 1 member on towards that switch area. Antidote is going to take down Pixels. That trade is going to be very, very valuable for them. They do have Strokey in that B boathouse area. Rexy, though, with that peek out shot with the Sheriff on towards Strokey is going to mean that the site has been opened up. Antidote, and along with the rest of his team, they're going to try and secure the spike plant on towards this side. The Blade Storm not finding a kill on towards anyone by the game here. Antidote's going to find a headshot on towards Bullet, but the game is right there with the trade. Rexy in 1v1, but it's the game with the operator again. Such a menace. We've talked about Deathmaker getting the operator and just getting a lot of kills, but it looks to be that that role has been taken up by the game. Absolutely crisp angles. He knows exactly where to be, where he needs to be, and how to get those shots off. He's so reliable, and over the past rounds that he's had an operator, he's propelled himself to the top of the scoreboard, getting 10 kills in just 6 rounds.
The rotation from Team Valor also was just so fast. Before they could even start planting the spike, hell, before they could even get into the water, the rotation was already there. Then they're facing multiple members of Valor now. So maybe a little lurk towards mid could solve this problem. But this time they're not going to leave anybody over there. We have the Omen up on high mid, but he isn't really watching out for any sort of aggression. And take a look at the game. He's already pushed out B main. They know that they're coming towards the A side. The rotations are already here. How do they deal with this now?
The showstopper comes in, but there's a little bit of a lukewarm response coming in from Godlike, though. Antidote does take down Strokey, a danger man in that particular position. Bullet has to disengage against all these members of Godlike, but the door has been broken. No one's covering Hyvon in that area as he's getting the spike plant down. The spike hasn't been planted. Buster getting that kill in the nick of time. 3 members of Godlike now on towards this side. White Horse is right there. White Horse is going to get the game, but Bullet is going to find another bullet on towards Deathmaker. It's going to mean that there's only one person on the site. 2 people now on A main. VL Buster along with Bullet are the only ones remaining. This might be the best chance for Godlike to pull back around. Buster does have 2 Leers in his hand. Bullet spots out Rexy. Gets a dink through the wood floor.
Left.
Not enough to take him down to 10 HP. Buster promptly rotating, anticipating a push out from A short. As I said, he has the 2 Leers to work with. The recon bolt has been destroyed. The spike is down. The retake is on.
Once they realize where White Horse is, they know that there's not going to be anybody else towards a shot. They can focus all their attention, and now Bullet knows exactly where his nemesis is. Right around the corner. He needs to pre-fire this. The wooden barriers are spammable as well, but Antidote will not falter this time. He puts up the first round on the board for Team Godlike. Buster was a little paranoid about someone coming out from Catwalk for a second, and I believe he was expecting someone like Whitehorse to be there because he did spot the game getting taken down by Whitehorse on high mid, so he probably expected a push from that side. But the moment they got the pick on the Omen, they knew exactly where everyone was, and if they had a little bit of HP advantage, then I think maybe Valor could have pulled this round off as well. But Godlike pulling off a much needed round. Maybe this could be the start of a comeback. Maybe they can string rounds together.
I'm not too sure why they had the game posted up towards a flanking side with an operator against 3 members on an eco. You know that Godlike, they're going to play a bit more aggressively. They're a bit more aggressive, but they're also going to be watching that flank because you know when the team is eco, the standard tactic is to try and get a rotation in off of the flank and just try to, you know, envelop them and encircle them in that particular site. And Godlike, they predicted that very well. They got the game before he could even get a shot off on towards the backs of the players, of the attackers. And that's how they actually facilitated winning out that round, coupled with a few indecisiveness, coupled with a little bit of indecisiveness coming out from a few of the players of Valor. But right now, the Recon Dart has spotted out all 3 members in that A main area. The Hunter Spear is going to come out, but it's not going to find anyone for that matter. Godlike live to fight another day. Rexy, though, gets taken down really low by the person holding on towards heaven. The push is on. Real Buster, a lot of good trigger discipline being shown by him, but Pixels and Bullet, they're going to be left to clean up the scraps as White Horse finds his entire team decimated in this A main area.
30 seconds left.
My goodness, there was no way they were ever getting in there. Too many crossfires, too many people, lot of guns pointing in a direction and lead just raining from everywhere. You see, every time that these guys try to go for one of these A main or B main pushes, the rotation from Team Valor comes in every time before these guys even have a chance to enter. That happened the same this time around as well. And the only thing that can actually help Godlike win one of these rounds is if people like Whitehorse or any other local for that matter stays on mid and stops the rotation of Team Valor from coming in quickly, catches them in the middle of transition. This happened in the previous round where Whitehorse got the pick onto the game, and that's how they were able to win this round, but it did not happen this round, and it's just a repeat of the previous 6 rounds that we have seen so far.
Definitely. It looks to be another mid push coming out by Godlike at this point. They really love to play the catwalk position every single time. Antidote, though, he knows the Cypher trapwire is there. He contemplates breaking it, but he knows that the information will be given away if he does. But the aggressive push coming out from them, though, Antidote getting a kill onto Pixels means that the Astro utility won't be there to stop the attackers in their tracks. The weapon being picked up is going to be extremely valuable in this particular eco round for them. Ivan using a few flashes in towards B main to try and spot out anyone lurking near that position. Buster, though, patiently waiting in garden area. knows that people are there pushing on towards this particular side. Is Deathmaker gonna find the crosshair of him though? Oh my goodness, the Ghost versus Vandal duel. And Deathmaker wins that particular one out. Bullet though finds Whitehorse, the Omen, in that particular position, who has picked up the Vandal of his dead nemesis and has been able to secure that particular kill. The rifle game is now up for Godlike. They have commandeered 3 weapons for the game, and Strokey, this is a tall order to mount.
Yeah, but at least they have the neural theft online. If they can get at least one kill, they can figure out the positions of the other ones. But even getting that one singular kill can be very difficult. The crossfires are just going to be really, really hard to break. The game and Strokey now playing together, hoping that someone from Godlike overextends, hoping that they get something to work off of. Strokey getting the kill on Deathmaker, doubling up onto Whitehorse, but that could have been so good. Antidote and Rexy saved the day. And this time, Team Godlike, they decided to push the envelope on mid. They decided to take the fight to them. Antidote with the Blade Storm got right in there, deep inside mid. Hit the kill, fell back to Catwalk, and then joined his team again. But then, because they knew that Antidote had been spotted out earlier, that's why VALOR was not able to rotate quickly. There were still 3 people positioned onto A side, but it was not enough when these guys came rushing in. Even Buster realized that if he tries to peek all these 5 people at once, he will be taken down. So he took a more passive angle, you know, holding deep inside gardens instead of playing somewhere close to Catwalk. And he should have won that fight any day on paper, but then Deathmaker with the Ghost getting the kills against a Vandal, it's just unexplainable. And I say Deathmaker's name again, he delivers one more kill. This guy's now popping off, but so is Strokey. Gets the trade onto Heaven. That's one of the most annoying players dealt with. The Breach getting killed can be a little bit of problem solved for Team VALOR, but then Deathmaker gets the trade once again, back to a 3v4. Maybe Godlike will start punching back right now.
And they do have that sort of potential to move in. They're already facing down a deficit at this point. Even if they do win out the rest of the 3 rounds, they're going to go into the second half with a 7-5 scoreline to beat VALOR at this point. VALOR, though, they want to extend this lead as much as they can, confirm the lead to at least 4 rounds, trying to get this done. But the one critical member for the defense is already down. Bullet showing incredible trigger discipline. He knows exactly where the members of Godlike are at this point. The recon guard's gonna spot out Rexy, but that wide swing is just gonna cost him a lot at that point. Did not jiggle Pete that, and Rexy happy to pick that off. And that's the thing about Ferrari peeking pros. You know that these players know how to deal with that. They know that in that particular position, when you're holding a close wall, the only choice you have is to do a Ferrari peek, and they will position their crosshair farther away from the wall any day of the week because they know you're gonna do it. And Rexy absolutely telegraphing that particular position for Bullet, taking him down. He showed a lot of good trigger discipline, not shooting down 3 members because he knew that he would only get 1. He wanted to contemplate going in for a second, but that might have just proven to be a bit too costly for him. But the interesting fact of the matter is, at this point, that VALOR are now put on towards an eco round.
Yeah, this is their first eco round, and I'm actually happy that they're trying to fight mid. They know that Godlike will try to contest him over here, so why not just try and go in, try to figure out what their setup looks like. They need to figure out if they try to come from B-Link or top mid. I like it when teams go for these eco frags and try to gather information on these eco rounds when they have nothing to lose. Oh, the neural theft comes in just in time to reveal Deathmaker position, but Deathmaker was just too fast for Strokey. Buster now, only with the Sheriff, doesn't really care about revealing his position, knows Deathmaker is somewhere around the corner, and Deathmaker duck peeks in, not able to adjust the crosshair in time. Buster will go down. But still, hey, this was an eco. I did not expect them to do much. At least they played mid and figured out what kind of players come from which side of mid. So next time they'll be better prepared. Maybe if they can get an operator online. Do they even have enough money for the op? Yes, they do. The game has picked it up. So now that they got this information from the eco, maybe Game can position himself to shut down one of these players. But we'll see if he actually decides to go there, because for now he's just watching B main instead of mid. And unfortunately, the op won't be seeing any action anytime soon. Most of Godlike positioned outside A main.
Yep, and it looks to be that Godlike have finally found out some semblance of a fighting spirit at this point. Taking down the last 3 rounds, they're going to go into this really motivated and really confident. able to understand that, hey, look, we can get this to a 7-5. I think that should be enough for us. We only need to get our entry fraggers online. We need to get our duelists online with the operator, and we'll be able to hold off against Team Valor's attack. And I'm really interested to see how they do that. The Cosmic Divide does go down. The Rolling Thunder also goes down. Bullet is going to find the Hunter's Fury on towards his counterpart here. The Rexy goes down. Hyvon has been tagged once in that particular position. The push is not going to come out. VL Bullet takes down another one. Antidote is down in that garden area. The Cosmic Divide is still there. 3 members of Valor are now pushing on towards that garden area. It's gonna mean that 3 members of Godlike, they have to work this through. They're still stuck in A main. They're not moving an inch. You see Bullet rotating on towards B. They do not know that he's going over there. The showstopper comes out from Deathmaker, but it's not gonna do much for them. They do, unfortunately, get taken down. The attack, unfortunately, does not go into their favor. They stare at a 4-8 scoreline. It is a little bit of a tall order for them at this point because they have to circumvent 4 rounds in order to equalize. But this is Godlike we're talking about, so if any team can do it, it's them.
It is them, yeah. I love how Bullet just stood tall in the face of that Rolling Thunder, not budging even an inch. Even if he did get blown into the air, he just doesn't care. He's gonna continue staying there, shooting his laser beams out and tagging up so many people. Got a kill too, and then followed up with a kill with the Vandal as well. That is just amazing. And he got stunned by Heaven's utility so many times, but he just did not care. He just stood there, no problems whatsoever. This time, though, Team Valor on the attacking side are gonna anticipate an early push out by Godlike towards this area. They have a Buster positioned right over there, ready to peek anyone who tries to challenge or push out too deep. But take a look at what's happening on A main. So many people of Godlike right outside over there. And Stroky has spotted them up with the camera. He's trying to fight them right now, but there's just too many people fighting him at the same time. He might not be able to do this. The game gets taken down. He expected Stroky to protect him, but Antidote is just too fast. That's just right outside. He needs to step up and Stroky will be taken down. Cannot step up to so many people shooting at him at the same time. Overwhelmed by the numbers. But this is such an awkward position. The attackers are now in defensive spawn and the defenders are now in attacking spot. What is even going on? This is as chaotic as a round can get. Gravity wills to pull the Omen outside, but he's not going to be there. He's just waiting outside of market, hoping that they don't double peek him, but they will instead, and they will trade him out. But this is so bad. They have the spike, at least on their back. Bullet, before he can go for the plant, he's going to take one down. He's hearing them nice and slow, knows exactly where Heaven is, just figured out where Rexy is. 20 seconds left. He can make the cross. He might be able to get to the A side. Now he just has to run. Oh no, he's gonna have to deal with Rexy first. Maybe the recon dot might just give him a little bit more. He's hoping that one of them peeks this area. He knows that he's successfully managed to break off the crossfire, so he can sneak back in. And he knows that Heaven is low as well, so maybe if he goes for the plant right away, he can actually pull this off. Just needs to get the kill onto Rexy. He's the only healthy player, but the Ghost triumphs over the Classic. And this time, Godlike will get the pistol round. Much needed momentum.
I appreciate the aggression coming out from Godlike in that particular round, pushing up 3 members through A main, finding out Stroky near that catwalk area before he could even get out of there. He spotted 3 members out with the camera. That kind of, you know, put a damper in the sneaky flank attack that Godlike wanted to do through mid. So that just put a damper in the plans of Godlike at the onset of the round. But they did get Stroky in that particular duel, and they were able to close the gap here. What I found a bit strange coming out from Valor was the fact that they waited so long trying to find out so many they were trying so hard to find out members of Godlike in that particular area, in the defensive area, not knowing the fact that they had already gone on aggressively on towards their own spawn.
Exactly.
And it was a really, really strange round, to be exact.
I know.
And they were just swapping roles left, right, and center. Game, though, getting taken down by Havan with that aggressive peek out. The Sheriff versus the Spectre, the run and gun is real. They're gonna push on towards Bullet. He's gonna pull out the grenade at the worst possible time. And Hyvan gets another kill on towards Stroky. The A pushes on. The spike is still near that A main area, though. They do not have the spike in tow. Antidote pulling that one back. 2 kills on towards 2 members of Valor. Bullet is the only person remaining. He only has the Sheriff to work with. There's only a Spectre in that tow. Hyvan, though. Oh my goodness, he can't find the shot on towards Hyvan, unfortunately, and Bullet is gonna punish him for that. And Godlike, the gap is closing, and it's closing fast.
Yeah, at least Valor must have taken away some lesson from this. They know that Godlike definitely love pushing A. They did it in the previous round. They did it again this time on the back of those breach flashes. But now also they have a little information that Deathmaker likes playing B aggressively. So what do they do with this? They know that Godlike like playing aggressively. They want to fight. They want to push. How do Valor respond to this? Are they going to go for more of a default? Or are they going to spread out? Instead of, or maybe they, instead of spreading out, they'll just try to stay there. But no, look at that. What on earth is Antidote doing? He's pushing in so deep. Deathmaker also accompanying him. These guys are taking the fight to them. It's almost like the defenders are not defenders anymore. They are the ones who are supposed to attack, and Antidote is just so deep into enemy territory. Ah, poor game. He's gonna have to run away. He never expected that to come through so quickly. Jesus, that was scary.
That was indeed extremely scary coming out from Godlike, and I feel like they just absolutely got pumped up after the last 2 rounds that they just absolutely dominated. And now they went on towards the defense, towards the attack, looking like attackers. And the attackers were playing on the back foot. They were trying to circumvent a push coming out from Godlike through B main and towards mid. The amazing dash in with the Spectre by Antidote just started that fall of the dominoes. And
exactly
like dominoes, VL just fell instantly.
Yeah, and that dash was followed up by a bunch of flashes from Heavan. Anybody standing up close would have had their eyes poked out. There was also a gravity well to make sure that nobody can, run away after they get flashed and get into a safe position. Deathmaker also pushing at the same time. So, they have no idea where to look because they're getting pinched from everywhere.
Right now, VL taking a push on towards that B main area. They're going to instantly regret it, though. Rexy, along with Antidote, just slaughtering them near that B main area. And Antidote with a jump right click on this classic on towards the head of Buster is going to mean that Godlike have finally tied this game up in an equalized 2-8 scoreline. And my goodness, the way that Godlike is now taking the fight to Valor. Valor can't even see the face of the site. They got the spike plant down only in the pistol round where it was diffused at the first, and that was literally the first round of the second half. But the subsequent rounds that came out, the 3 rounds, Godlike, the menace that they've just turned into. It's just a far cry from their performance in the first half.
Yeah, it's a WQ simulator for Godlike. Forget the face of the side. They can only stare into the face of the sun because those flashes are annoying as hell. This time, Antidote has a much bigger gun. Rexy, he pulls out his bow, shooting out the laser beams, narrowly missing the other players, but he did tag a couple of players. Buster was already low on health, and Antidote killing him with the operator is just overkill. How do Valor respond to this? Trying to sneak up mid. Strokey doesn't see anyone just yet, but that recon dot will reveal Rexy's position. Does he also know that White Horse is present over there as well? Now he peeks out, doesn't win the duel, so Strokey could not get traded out because there was the Dark Shadow. And I don't know, if the Dark Shadow wasn't present, maybe his teammates from far away could have helped him out with the trade, but nah, that just did not come through.
Unfortunate stuff coming out from that particular push on towards him, and I feel like Valor at this point, they're just playing silo games all across the board. I don't really see a lot of utility coordination in their particular attack, and I feel like their main game was on defense when they used the Astra utility and the Cypher utility to great effect, spotting out the pushes coming out from Godlike and just absolutely crunching them with the rotations. Yeah, I don't see the same amount of agency and the responsibility from them in this particular attack side. You do see they're now making a very messy push on towards this A site. Deathmaker finding a very easy kill on towards the attackers here at this point with the paint shields on the generator. A one tap on the breach here and another tap on the Astra. One tap on the Soba here and another one tap on the Astra there. Means that the round is gonna get sealed up. Godlike firmly in control at this point. It looks to be that Valor are now staring down defeat because the way that they've been attacking has been so far less than convincing. The way that they were showing off their prowess on defense, it's just not coming up on attack.
Hold on, before you say that, are they even attacking? Are they even attacking? Because Godlike seem to be the one who are on the front foot right now. They are on the offense, and they just don't seem to stop. Pretty silent start from these guys this time. You can see how scared Valor are to push this area. Once they find out that Heavan is somewhere on the A side, they are always expecting him to, put down a flashpoint and have Antidote peek on the back of it. They're gonna use the Cosmic Divide, hoping that it will leave a little corner of the site available to plant the spike, and that's what they're gonna do. Luckily, this is not a place that team Godlike can challenge, so they are gonna plant the spike. They're gonna get away with it, and Strokey is on the look. He has to fight against Whitehorse at this point. No problem, doesn't win the duel. At least his team got the spike down, so he's bought enough time. He's kept Whitehorse off of Bay.
Now Whitehorse is gonna probably join his teammates. He's peeking out towards Catwalk while Rex uses that recon dart in tow. They've already driven them away from that A main area. The Astral Gravity Well is there along with the Hunter's Fury. They might be a little bit of premature usage of the ultimates here and the utilities here. And the Diffuse is gonna get stuck out as Hyvan along with another member of Godlike. They're gonna go in for this. The Gravity Well comes in at just the last second, pulling Rexy away from the Diffuse. And Buster is able to kill off the diffuser, sealing the round for his team. My goodness, that looked to be God L's round through and through. But a clutch utilization of the Astro Gravity Well near that spike area meant Buster was able to take down Rexy. The diffuse just millimeters away from being completed.
Yeah,
My
so far
God.
VALOR has been struggling to get even into the site. This time they were able to get there because they used the Cosmic Divide, and there was a tiny piece of the site that was just left outside for them to plant the spike on. If they did not have that Cosmic Divide, I don't know if they would have been able to get to the site as effectively as they did this time. And with only one ultimate on their side right now, that's the Neural Theft, I'm not sure how much they will be able to accomplish. Deathmaker's got a showstopper, so in case anything happens, he can always pull out that big bad rocket launcher and just throw a spanner in the works of VALOR.
Definitely, and that's going to be a really, really critical ultimate to use at this point. Buster, though, he's contemplating a push on towards A main, and this has been the language of the attack coming out from VALOR. They probe and prod and try to, like, find out the information as to where enemy the players of Godlike are holding. That's going to mean that you know where he is. That op shot is a grim reminder that there's someone named Antidote near that A main site. You need to flush him out before you can even contemplate pushing on towards there, but Godel Antidote, a cheeky peek out coming onto him. Bullet, though, has his number, gets him taken down. The Omen ultimate is there as well, but Hyvan and Rexy, they're going to be able to clean house near that A main area as members of VALOR fall like dominoes again. And this house of cards that they built for themselves is just sitting on a wobbly foundation here. I think the top half is already gone. They have to rebuild on it because now they're sitting at a 1-0, one-round deficit. They have to do something, and they have to do it quick.
Yeah, but they're running out of cards to build with. They're gonna have to pull an ace out of their sleeves to get this one online. They are just one round behind Team Godlike, but then economy-wise, they are nowhere close. They have downgraded to sheriffs and stingers and whatnot. The people who do have the phantoms are just running out of fumes, they're running out of money, and Deathmaker just makes things even harder. They've got the kill onto Strokey, the only guy with the ultimate available on their team. So now things are gonna get infinitely harder.
Infinitely harder indeed. Losing the game in the onset of the round is not what you want, but picking out Hyvan, that breach utility, the absence of the breach utility is going to mean that you're going to have an easier time pushing on towards the sites.
On
He's been
paper.
absolutely under pressure, but looking at Deathmaker here, he peek out through mid, taking down
Spike
Bullet and
down,
Pixels. No utility, no problem. I'm just going to rely on my aim and the Vandal to get those quick shots off. And again, VALOR losing 2 to 3 members in one particular point of the map, and the hesitation shown by them on attack is just really proving to be costly, as it's allowing Godel to push into these aggressive positions and always encircling them. They're always finding themselves surrounded. They have to deal with the fire coming in from every single direction, and they just have no answer for it. And that hesitation is giving away so many dividends to Godel. They need a change in strategy, and they need it now.
And even if they are holding for Godlike aggression, even if they're holding the angles, hoping that Godlike will overextend, overcommit or something or the other, they're not able to get those kills once they have held those angles. It's just not happening. Antidote this time dashing into the side. This could be problematic. Deathmaker sees too many players on his screen, but no! The showstopper gets denied. Bullet puts a bullet in his brain. Whitehorse still online, lines 2 people up. Pixel with a nice sheriff shot of his own will shut him down before it's too late. But maybe this is the best kind of distraction they needed. Look at this. They've diverted all the players towards the B site, and the spike is heading towards A. Strokey might just have pulled off a master stroke, and now Pixel, he was the entry fragger at one point, now he turns into the lurk. He's gonna have to do everything in his power to delay them.
Cyber Cage is down, but does he know that when it goes down, it's only gonna mean that Antidote is holding that particular area? Rexy and Strokey are now gonna lock horns at this point, but it looks to be a very anticlimactic round as both players of VALOR fall at both opposite ends of the map. And it's gonna mean that GODLIKE are going to be sitting comfortably at match point. A game that VALOR looked to be taking with so much agency. They looked to be in their hands altogether. But they just absolutely lost grips of it in the second half.
Yeah, and that was such a massive comeback too. Conceding only one round to Team VALOR in the second half. Everything else, they've stung together so many rounds. It's like they have unlimited money right now. Most of them are sitting on the $9,000 mark. Even if VALOR wins the next 2 rounds in a row, the Team GODLIKE will not have any problems, at least economy-wise. Let's see what they're trying to do once again. They've been sucking Deathmaker into that gravity well again and again, but even if they do that, they don't manage to get the kill onto him. Game dashes in, gets the trigger activated so that the door is closed, but Antidote dashes into the side before the door closes, straight into the crosshairs of Buster. Maybe this is the mistake that they were looking to punish. Bullet, knowing that there will be multiple people in the backside, using his ultimate to clear that out, hoping that it at least softens up the target so that his teammates can follow up, but Whitehorse is just too strong for it, and Deathmaker follows up even better. My goodness, these guys, even after using so many utilities, and ultimate too, they don't have control of the site, and the relation's already here. Maybe Strokey can pull off a master stroke. He gets behind them. Neural Theft Online knows exactly where the last 2 players are. Knows that Deathmaker is low as well, but the spike is being heavily guarded.
One enemy remaining.
No crossfire. This could be the mistake that he has been looking to punish for a long time. That satchel will push him into an uncomfortable position, letting Deathmaker reposition to get his crosshair adjusted. And he knew that Strokey would wide swing him. He knew that he would peek him because his HP was not the best. So he just used everything he had to get Strokey into an uncomfortable position. They knew that they messed up the crossfire the moment Hevan got taken down and Deathmaker didn't peek on time. So he made up for it with the use of the satchel.
I don't know why that Whitehorse was allowed to peek in through green box without any player of VALOR trying to take him down. It was only after losing 2 members that Buster took him down, but by then it was just already too late. Losing out 2 members of your attacking team in that particular position just meant that they had absolutely no backup to give to Strokey when he made that sort of rotation through the back end. But Strokey really well played with the Phantom. He's been an absolute menace here, but unfortunate stuff coming out for VALOR as they concede game 1 against GODLIKE. They're going to have a monumental task ahead of them as they play on Bind. So we're going to go into the map highlights right now and break it down all for you as to what we saw through the entire game here, Crips. But looking at the entire landscape that we've seen throughout the entire tournament, I mean, throughout the entire game, VALOR looked to be taking the reins at the onset. They were the confident team going into the game with 4 rounds under their belt, 6 rounds in fact under their belt before conceding the first one. They looked to be in total control. They were reading GODLIKE's attack. They were using utilities perfectly and getting those aim battles in very, very crisp positions. And the game with that operator was just so menacing. We just didn't see that sort of aggression, that sort of agency, that sort of control that VALOR had in the first half. They just seemed to completely lose out on their team coordination. They had no cohesiveness when they're going on towards attack. It was looking like 5 players are playing on 5 silos all across the map, and they just didn't have any uniformity. And GODLIKE, they were happy to pick them off clean, one by one, like little pieces of a puzzle that was disjointly, put together. And that was just absolutely smooth for GODL at this point. The scoreline doesn't do the game justice, but VALOR need to put up in terms of their consistency on attack in the second map as well.
Yeah, not to be too rude, but Team VALOR's performance seemed like a marriage gone cold. You know, at the start of the marriage, you have a honeymoon phase. You're winning 6-0. Everyone's happy. Everyone's chill. You ride that momentum heavy into the first half, get the 8-4 lead. But then in the second half, GODLIKE, they become the third wheel. No, not the third wheel. How do you call the guy who breaks up the marriage? I don't know the word to describe it, but yeah, that's what GODLIKE were. They were getting into their faces, getting into such deep angles, such deep positions that the players of Team VALOR, they felt uncomfortable pushing out. They felt uncomfortable talking to each other. They just weren't what they were just not what they were anymore. Yeah, it's like the marriage losing heat. They're losing confidence, and I know this is a silly analogy, but that's the only thing that comes to my mind right now.
I want to know what going 6-0 in a marriage actually looks like, or even feels like.
It
at
is the
that
honeymoon
point.
phase, yeah.
But unfortunate stuff, even though we were seeing some unfortunate stuff coming out from Team Valorant in the second half, I know they have it in them to put up a significantly
Definitely.
good challenge against Godlike in the second map as well. It's going to be Bind, which is Godlike's playground, as you've already said. They're so adept at it. And it is a defensive-oriented map as well, so maybe they can pull off their defensive strategies that they've shown us on Ascent into an even greater degree, build a sort of bigger lead against their opponents, so that they have that sort of bigger cushion to, safeguard themselves against in the second game. But we're going to have that and more right after this break here, ladies and gentlemen. Do not go anywhere. Remember, this is the TEC Gauntlet Season 1 powered by WD Black and AMD Ryzen. There's going to be a QR code on the screen after 90 seconds. Scan it to get your Red Bull cans, and we'll be seeing you back here soon for Game 2 of this explosive best-of-3 series. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the TEC Gauntlet Season 1, powered by AMD Ryzen Radeon and WD Black. This is the best of 3 series between Team Valorant and Godlike Esports. We are in Game 2, after what looked to be a convincing first half start in Game 1 by Valor turned into a nightmare for them, as Godlike pulled one back over them in the second half on towards the defense. They just didn't have that sort of a response to Godlike's attacking strategies. Towards that. Yeah, you can say attacking strategies even on defense because the way that they play aggressively on towards the side of Team Valor was just way too much. But now we're going to go on to Bind, where things get a little bit too complicated. So it's a defensive-oriented map. It's been picked by Team Valor. It does hint at the fact that they are comfortable playing it. But what do you think, Crips? How do you think this match is going to shake down?
Yeah, given the fact that Godlike is starting on defense, and given how defensive this map already is, and how Godlike were attacking on the defensive side in the previous map, I don't know if this is going to work out in the favor of Valor. If they started on the defense side, which they are good at, by the way, I think they might have had a chance. But I feel like maybe Godlike Esports will put a way too comfortable of a lead in the first half itself before they give Valor any chance to come back in the second half. So that's kind of what I'm worried about. They might have picked the map, but them starting on the attacking side I think is what going to cause their downfall. Oh, and hold on. What is this? Godlike is going for a completely different setup, a completely different agent selection. Just this morning, I saw that these guys, Godlike went for their standard Viper and Astra pick. They pick 2 controllers on Bind, usually. Hevan plays Viper, and Whitehorse, he usually plays Astra. And they've been doing this since the last week. But this time, it is completely different. Rexy picking up a Brimstone instead. Whitehorse going for a Killjoy. No Sova. Instead, Hevan's going to play the Sky. So I did not expect this massive switch from Godlike.
Definitely, it's interesting to see how they utilize the Sky in the form of a Sova at that point, because Sky does have information gathering capabilities. If you get the flash off at a particular point in the map, it means that there's someone there. You also have the Tasmanian Tiger that you can use on towards the corners of the map and really like flush out the defenders from those cheeky areas of the map that Bind is just known for, and it's judge heaven for a lot of players, especially in B hookah. If you do not care about all the angles, if you don't check every single corner, you are going to be at the receiving end of a lot of shotgun shells. And it looks to be that Valor, they're playing the more standard composition that you mentioned that Godlike were playing at this one point. So it looks to be something more of an experiment. Being driven by Godel, I feel like they're very comfortable in knowing the fact that they're starting on defense. They're very confident knowing that seeing the first attacking side of Valor, they know that they can stack up against them really well, and thus this sort of composition that they've actually chosen to go with might just be something that Valor to watch out for.
I'm actually very surprised that they don't have a Sova. Okay, partially because Hevan has a Sky, so he's gonna have to do whatever a Sova does, gather information and whatnot. But Rexy picking up Brimstone. How weird is that? We've seen people go for Omen because you can always jump into the teleporter, go for those fake TP plays and whatnot. Of course, that's a very low-level fake. But we've seen people pick up Astra as well because you can suck people in. Viper on Bind is excellent, but a Brimstone? That's not the ideal choice of controller, at least in this meta. So I'm assuming they've picked up Brimstone because they want Rexy to build plays off of his orbital strike when these guys are on the attacking side. But for now, they're on defense, and most of Valor is heading towards the B-long corridor.
Valor now trying a split attack here. 3 members of Valor onto a B-long with a hookah push coming in. Antidote, though, using that Skybird flash to great effect here. Taking down Strokey, using the teleporter, gets himself into safety. Hyvan, though, he has the flash in hand. The guiding light is going to find 2 members here, but not the eyes of Bullet. He's going to get that right click headshot on towards Hyvan, though. Rexy peeking out Pixels. Both of them show a little bit of a hesitation coming in there, as the Viper Spit is going to go down on towards Deathmaker, prompting a slower push on towards Hookah here. He knows he shouldn't go through this. Pixels now has the Ghost in tow. Is it going to be a duel that Deathmaker is going to win out, though? The reload comes out at just the worst possible time for Pixels. Taking down the curveball. Hits Antidote square in the face. The game is going to push in and take him down. White Horse is there, but the game is being played. He gets the headshot on towards White Horse. The spike is still down, isolated in the site. He has to retrieve it, the Phoenix. He does not have any utilities or spells to work with here. It's
yeah, but
right in front of him.
Yeah, but time is running out for that Maker. No, he almost caught the game looking in the wrong direction. He needs to go for the fight. There's no way he can go for the plant right now. Is he doing this? Is he actually doing this? He tried to go for the stick, but Deathmaker knew that that wasn't possible. He waited for him to peek out and pre-fired as soon as he heard the first footstep.
My goodness, that was a very tense round going down to the wire between Game and Deathmaker. Both of them sitting at 2 kills before Deathmaker got the better of his counterpart Duelist. And right now, that might just have been a little bit of a confidence boost for Valor, the way that they successfully pushed on towards the site. Unfortunate stuff coming out from them that they didn't have enough attackers on the site itself to cover the plant coming out. And this is a thing that they've always struggled with. They're getting the spike down, but no one's covering the planter. They need to address that in this particular round.
We saw this in Ascent as well. They were struggling not just to get to the site, but the one time that they did get there, they were never able to get the spike plant. The only time that was possible was on the back of a Cosmic Divide, and that's not the kind of things you want to rely on. But look at Evan, he's so deep into enemy territory. Strokey was aware about a potential push, but there was nothing he could do about it. And now they're getting pinched from both the sides. So much map control in the favor of Godlike, and Pixel was revealing just a pixel to White Horse through that smoke, and that's all that he needs to shoot him down.
The game got DC'd a little for a moment there. Godel showing good sportsmanship to not take him down instantly. Ivan knew that he was over there. He didn't shoot him because he was just standing still at that point. Unfortunate stuff coming out from Valor. Again, we're seeing deja vu of Ascent here, Crips. The way that Valor were getting enveloped and encircled again by the swift rotations coming out from Godlike. They're a team you really need to take the fight to, otherwise they will encircle you. They will swallow you whole. With those rotations coming out from them, they will isolate you and pick you off one by one. And that is something that Valor need to understand really, really quickly. They need to show more agency. They need to show more speed and decisiveness. Again, we see them playing on default, which is better. They're circumventing the flanks. They're watching people from Godlike trying to push out. They have the information. What do they do with this is another question.
Exactly. That's the question that they haven't been able to answer yet. Even in the previous game, they were getting all the information, but it was information overload, right? Most of the times, teams struggle with not having enough information, but there was a different problem for Team Valor. They had too much information and then they didn't know what to do with it. Hevan getting that has to fall back, but that's alright. That's just one player that they have revealed so far. They still need to find more. Strokey going towards bathrooms, hoping to sneak up. He's gonna be stopped right there, but the game will not be able to win the duel against Hevan. Strokey can't progress any further because of the presence of an alarm bot over there, so he's just gonna stop in their tracks, hoping that Buster can clear out a couple of angles. Maybe get some information as well with the boom bot, but it's already been expended. The Viper Wall goes up, toxin screen. Oh my goodness, Buster, very good satchel and burst over there. Getting the kill on the White Horse. No, Rexy peeks right into the crosses of Pixel. And finally, Antidote will stop him. Upgrades to a Phantom. He knows they will line up for him. A little bit of damage dealt, but no kills come through. It's a 2v2. And the timing for Strokey couldn't have been worse. Hevan had Such a good timing over there. Strokey looked to it at the worst possible time. It make a pre-fire's bullet. That's going to be the end of things. Godlike once again making things work even when they did not have the superior weaponry. But hey, the silver lining is that they were at least able to get to the site. At least they were able to put the spike down, right? This was something that they struggled with so far.
Right.
At least they can get the spike down, so maybe that's a little bit of progress, I guess.
Well, what I feel like from that particular spike plant is the fact that it's a better showcase of attack from VALOR at this point. Because, you know, they caused enough chaos in the site to get themselves into an advanced position where they were comfortable in getting the spike plant down without being taken down by a member of GODL. And that is the sort of thing that you need to have when you're on attack on bind. You need to cause as much chaos as you can because the corridors are narrow, the map sites are very small, and you need to use your utilities to great effect so that you can, basically distract the defense from getting the spike planter killed. And right now, that is exactly what they did. Unfortunately, the duels were just not there. The timings in Showers and in U-Haul were not in favor of VALOR. And they just couldn't find the trades. They just couldn't find the critical kills that they needed to get in order to stave off that retake attack coming out from GODL. But a better showcase of attack coming out from VALOR at this point. If they do keep that up, they seal the retake game, they should be able to get themselves back into this.
Yep. Very good job right there, Red Bro. You really pointed out their win conditions. Let's see if they're able to actually achieve these win conditions. Team VALOR not having the best of utility this time, not even the best of weaponry. But hey, at least two of their members are very close to getting their ultimates ready. Buster needs just one more point, so if he dies right now, he's gonna have the showstopper next game. The game already has his run it back ready. Pixel, he can probably pick up an ultimate orb, and if he dies, he's gonna have his ultimate in the next round too. So yeah, this is just a round for them to gather as much information as possible. Maybe go for a fast rush or just do something that will throw Godlike off guard. I don't know. Let's see what they do this time.
Rexy, though, taking that alt orb away. He's been making it a point to take that alt orb away, but that... okay, that is not the best way to die when you're pushing on towards the side to kill towards turret, stopping you in his tracks. And right now, VALOR seem to have no clue as to how they want to push this. They're just running into the crossfires of Godlike. I'm not sure as to why they are peeking so dryly without the utility usage, without any sort of flashes or any sort of info being collected on towards the site. Questionable stuff coming out from VALOR at that particular round. It looked to be that they wanted to get that eco round over as soon as possible, get the rifles in and try again with the rifles in tow. As you said, they wanted I feel like they wanted the ultimate points to be credited to their accounts at the third round. So, I mean, at the fourth round, so that they can go into the fifth round with more ultimates ready and, with a better outlook in hand with the weaponry and everything. But that's just very, very eerie coming out from VALOR at this point.
Yep. That round was so flawless. Godlike did not even lose a single tick of HP. And this time Antidote's in a much better position. Ooh, fires the shot preemptively. Well, at least now they know that there's a big bad zoom banger waiting for them on the other side. But still, Buster dies to it, even with all the information. Deathmaker also will be tempted to peek. That orbital strike will force them into uncomfortable positions. Maybe they could have done something with it, but won't come through. Andero once again taking position, ready to help his teammate out, but so far they've just been stopped in their tracks. Now, luckily for them, luckily for VALOR, nobody from Godlike is backstabbing them already, so they can take their sweet time. But take a look at Strokey. He's all the way on the A side. He's doing something else, hoping that somebody peeks him, or maybe makes a mistake, or maybe gets an opening. Oh no, he'll be revealed. That prompts Rexy to peek, but he hasn't been spotted just yet. No movement from Godlike so far. They're just still holding on to the defaults, and time is running out. Only 30 seconds left. VALOR need to make a move, and they need to do it now.
Godlike know that the time is against VL at this point. Pixels, unfortunately, does a preemptive peek on towards that. Every player is going to blind fire that smoke, and he knows it. The game is the next one to fall. Strokey peeks out in the nick of time, but GODL Rexy with the clutch teleport coming in from behind gets the headshot off, and Bullet is the only surviving member. The guiding light is going to find him out, and Antidote It's the easiest op shot that he'll ever take in his life on towards Bullet. The information was there. The reload was also coming in from Bullet. He had absolutely no way of contesting that peak. And GODL, they're comfortably in the driver's seat. And from VL, the hesitation being showed by them again was countered by patience from GODL. You see, like, the teams are just absolutely contrast of each other. Whereas GODL, they are cold, calculative, and they're very meticulous in the way that they want to play this, even when they're going on defense, and even when they're playing on the back foot. Like, okay, let's wait for them to come in. Even then, they know what's going to happen. Whereas VALOR, they're just kind of going in a wing it sort of playstyle. Like, we'll figure out what happens when we get there. That is not the sort of strategy you play against a team like GODL. And as you can see, right there, Antidote picking up the game, and Hyvan getting in a second peek over there. Bullet had absolutely no clue. The showstopper comes in. It's going to take down Deathmaker, though. Just going to take down Rexy, but Antidote, he's going to move in, taking down Strokey. Buster takes down a third, but Ivan's going to be there coming in from Belong with the kill on towards Buster.
You know what's funny about that kill that Antidote got? The opening kill with the op? He threw down a cloudburst on top of that wall before the recon dart even landed. Hell, before it was even off of the bow, off the Sova. Yeah. So, he just knows. Exactly. And if GODLIKE are able to get such a good read, soon they won't just be reading what VALOR is doing, soon they'll be writing the story. They'll be dictating the pace and the story of this game. And I hope VALOR find their inner protagonist and change the storyline. A plot twist is it's desperately required at this point.
Very eloquently said, Chris. But the fact of the matter is that GODL are just picking off VL like sesame seeds off a burger bun. Is good to be. Bullet is the only person remaining here. Antidote peeks out with the ghost, takes him down. The game is the only person remaining. He's gonna get spotted out by the kill for turret. He might just fall to it, unfortunately. Has to use the hot hands to heal himself. It's all going wrong for him, and the swarm grenade is going to push him out of showers straight into the head. I mean, the crosshair of Whitehorse. And GODL, they're just toying with their prey at this point.
Man. These guys need an answer. They need a solution. Luckily, I'm not in their shoes, so I don't have to suggest what these guys have to do. But Team VALOR so far, they've been trying to knock on the doors of Hookah, and these guys are not opening the door. GODLIKE, they let the door open at a very awkward time. They welcome them in, and just it's like walking into a bear's den. That's what's happening to VALOR. And they've been trying Hookah again and again with very little success, but they keep on doing it. I have barely ever seen them do a fast A push or an A approach. And because they're not present over here, look at how much information GODLIKE have right now. Whitehorse has already walked down the bathrooms area. He probably won't progress any further because of that tripwire, but that's alright. They know exactly where these guys are, and even if GODLIKE do get revealed, GODLIKE also know where VALOR are, even after the neural theft.
Ooh, another critical duel against Hyvani. Does not secure it. He's gonna get that information, but the other one's peeking on towards that Belong area. The Seekers are gonna be out from Hyvan here. That's gonna mean that they know where the Viper ultimate is situated. Pixels is gonna get burned down by the Molly coming in from Rexy. That's the Brimstone power that we had not understood before, and he's using it to great effect. The game, though, using the curveball to great effect, taking the lockdown down, but it's gonna mean that he's gonna run out of ammo before fighting Whitehorse. That's the easiest duel that Whitehorse is going to take after being flashed by Phoenix. Strokey is the only person remaining on towards that side as Hunter's Fury comes down. Is he going to be able to tag him out? Is he going to tag out Whitehorse? Is he going to be able to find out Hyvan? Bullet comes in clutch with the amazing Hunter's Fury to seal out the deal for his team. Unfortunate lineup coming out from GODL is Hyvan and Whitehorse. We're both in the line of sight of the Hunter's Fury laser beam. And Bullet managed to pull one back for the side of VALOR. A much needed round.
But look at how many ultimates they had to commit to win this one. The Viper's Spade, the Hunter's Fury. All of that is not going to be available to you for pretty much the rest of the half right now. Even if they die every time, what else will they have? Not all. They will probably just have a run it back in the next round. Maybe a showstopper. But other than that, I don't see these ultimates coming back online. Oh, poor Deathmaker. Doesn't he just get bored killing these guys every time at the same spot too? He hasn't changed his position at all, and he doesn't need to. Antidote's there to back him up as well. He's just firing down at them like a turret. And there's no response. Absolutely nothing whatsoever. All this patience for nothing.
Unfortunately, Bullet contemplated a push on towards Hookah, or maybe he was trying to rotate towards A. We'll never know because that round has been sealed and dealed by Godlike. My goodness, the dominating performance that they're showcasing here. They really want to take this game by the reins and control every little aspect of it. VALOR are now playing in Godlike's world at this point. That one round that they managed to scavenge through was just a little round that fell through the cracks of GODL's impeccable defense that they put out for themselves. And right now, Deathmaker with 15-4, Antidote 10-4, firing in all cylinders, these two duelists absolutely pushing their team towards victory. And they don't have to push too hard though, because they've been playing amazingly. Hyvon and Deathmaker finding kills all across the board here. And VL, before they even see the face of the site, before they can even get into position to execute an attack strategy, they find themselves 2-3 members down. And that's been the case for every single round that they face off against Godlike. This must be debilitating for their morale at this point.
You did mention that they are playing in Godlike's world right now. The only time they were able to win a round, Pixel had to say, "Welcome to my world," to pull that off. So, very well pointed out over there. And Deathmaker is just playing deathmatch right now. He doesn't even care. No, I mean, look at this. He's got no teammates next to him, no trading potential, but he's still keen on fighting. How do you explain that?
I'm explaining that in terms of the mental stress that I think VALOR are facing off against at this point, because I'm seeing a lot of questionable stuff coming out from their players at this point. Pushing in without utilities, pushing in without the flashes. They have a lot of utilities, mind you. They have the Viper Wall, they have Sova Darts, they have Phoenix Curveballs, and they have Raze utilities to flush defenders out from those pesky areas of the map. Instead, they always go near that hookah area. They jiggle peek a bit, get picked off by Antidote, and maybe Hyvon, who used the Seekers, the Guiding Light to blind them before picking them off. And that's been the case for their attacks so far. Rexy has been an absolute solid rock wall in that showers area. No one's been able to push against him throughout that area. As the running back has been popped towards that A-short area, the game is going to go in with the curveball. They get tagged out by the swarm grenades a little bit. Can't manage to find the turret again. I think he has some sort of a vendetta against this turret at this point. The way he's been bamboozled every single time as the showstopper comes out from Buster. The orbital strike is gonna come out. Unfortunately, Buster can't use the showstopper because Deathmaker is now using it. He's gonna use that showstopper on towards Bullet, who probably uses that teleport to get himself back to safety. Whitehorse, Rexy, and Antidote taking down 3 members of VL is gonna mean that the game, again, is the sole surviving member. Why is the spike in Hookah got it, VALOR, when all of your members are in A? Questions we will never have answers to. He's gonna have to peek out against Antidote. The curveball doesn't find it, but neither does the shot coming out from Antidote. Hyvon gets the trade out. Deathmaker uses the boombot to great success. And the game is over for the game. As we now stare down a 10-1 scoreline put up by GODL. This is really, really scary.
Tearing down the battle of a brutal eco on the last round of the half. They barely have any weaponry. Cheap guns, specters, maybe they will downgrade to light shields in order to pick up a weapon or two. They'll have to sacrifice a lot of utility in order to do so. But what good is utility if they can't even, stop Godlike from rampaging through? And that is what they're doing at this point. Antidote absolutely fearlessly crossing over to the other side of B-Long. Misses the first shot, but that's alright. He's gonna get plenty of more times to re-engage. The second shot missed as well. Maybe this could be the opportunity that these guys have been looking for. Deathmaker has been picked off as well. Well, this is as good of a round as it gets for VALOR. Trades all over the floor as Heaven avenges Antidote's death. But now he's gonna put down his Seekers. All the other hiding members of Team VALOR will be revealed soon. Pixel has already been revealed, so they know that the A rush is incoming. But will Whitehorse get here in time to stop them? He hasn't peeked yet. He's just waiting for them to be a little more vulnerable. Trying to spam down through the boxes, and Pixel will eat it right in the face.
It's one of the more risky positions for you to plant in that green box area, especially when you know a defender is going to peek out through Heaven. Whitehorse, though, is now in complete isolation near that A Heaven area.
Finally.
Strokey is gonna find a shot with the Bulldog. And that's gonna mean a little bit, a tad bit of salvation for VALOR. They were much better on attack in that particular round. I hope we would have seen a little bit more of that in the previous rounds that they dropped. They really need to seal the deal in this defense. And is a defense-oriented map. The game of Valorant is just so unpredictable. Any team can come back from any scoreline. VALOR have it in them. In the defense, we've seen it on Ascent. Can they do it again on Vine? They're gonna have to pull a rabbit out of the magic hat, of course. But if there is any team that we've seen so far throughout the series that can pull that one off, it's gonna be VALOR. They've done it once on Ascent. They should be able to do it on Vine, provided they get the game down, provided they use their utilities and don't dry peek onto towards site. They're able to circumvent the aggression coming out from GODLIKE. The map is already underway. The second half is on. Will VALOR pull this one back, or will GODLIKE fund it to a decisive victory?
VALOR having control of this bathrooms area might just mean that there will be very less post-plant positions available for Team GODLIKE. They can go for the plant right away. They can take control of U-Hall, maybe go down short as well. But nobody over here might just make things a little easier. The rotation from Team VALOR already inbound. 3 players now over here. They will be discouraged from going into the U-Halls area, but maybe that Owl Drone can reveal a player or two, hopefully get them a little bit more information to work with so that they can pre-fire across the corners on the enemies who've been highlighted. The flashes come through as well, but somehow they are still online. Rexy, on the other hand, comes all the way from behind and gets the kill on the Strokey. So now, post-plant positions are available. 2 versus 3, and these guys are surrounded. They're getting double-peaked, triple-peaked, and Rexy just finishes things off. Pistol round was absolutely essential for Team VALOR if they wanted to make a comeback, and now it's out of the question.
Unfortunate stuff coming out from VALOR at that point. They tried their level best to circumvent it, but the picks coming out from GODLIKE, the amount of coordination, the way that they strategize, the way that they go in, you know that GODLIKE has a plan. Whenever they push on towards the site, whenever they take these duels, there's always either one team member covering that player when they're pushing on towards a particular site, or there's some form of utility to augment that sort of attacking push coming out from GODLIKE. We just don't see that sort of coordination and utility users coming out from VALOR, unfortunately. The way that they're doing is just very basic usage. They need to get into those advanced team composition strategies that GODLIKE are pulling out if they want to stand a chance of winning this one. They do spot out one person near that left side. The Tasmanian Tiger does spot out the game. He knows that he is holding there with the judge. Unfortunate stuff. The pain shells is going to remove him from that hookah area. VL have to concede control over hookah here, but it's going to be up to Buster. Oh, he's not going to be able to find that shot on towards Antidote, but Pixels is going to be right there with the trade. This is what we want to see. This sort of coordination is what we want to see, but the 3 teleport going on towards A is going to mean that VALOR's 2 players, they have to make that insane rotation all around the world, but that teleport was absolutely scripted, telegraphed, read like a book, leaflet, pamphlet, whatever you want to call it at this point, by Hyvon. Strokey gets taken down in that teleporter. Pixels is all going to be up to you, though, to try and clutch out this round for your team.
Well, at least he has a weapon to work with, so it's not all lost. Unfortunately, most of his utility is already placed, and there's not much left that he can do to isolate these gunfights. Hopefully they'll peek him one by one. Hopefully they'll give him a chance. Hamon's not looking in the right direction, so he has the element of surprise over here. He took the long way around, and he has don't. Please don't. Well, I mean, if you're not going to win the match, at least you can go for the disrespectful play. Maybe walk away with a little bit of dignity at the end of that. So I appreciate the sentiment, Pixel, but Whitehorse is going to return the favor. He had to. He had to. Hamon had it coming.
You saw that. You see an opportunity like that, you just take it, right? That's pretty much what we saw at that point. Unfortunately, just couldn't find the last 2 kills that were needed to claw his team back into this. And it's now the last stand, the last breath of VL that we're going to see in this match point round by GODLIKE. They've been they left no questions unanswered at this point. The questions that were being raised in the first half of Ascent when they were on attack, all of those questions have been answered. Like, okay, look, we're also better on attack. We're also good on defense, and it's gonna prove out to be the case here. VL, I think that first half was a little bit too jarring for them, and the nerves might have just gotten to them. We know that they're better than this. Unfortunately, we're just not seeing that sort of play coming in unison that they just showcase on Ascent.
Yeah, but luckily for them, this time there's 4 people stacked up on the B side. If GODLIKE decide to push this, they might just be heading into a trap. And let's be honest, they needed this trap. But they might just be falling back. You can already see Deathmaker trying to make sure that nobody's backstabbing them, heading towards A right now. They have only Pixel left over here. I mean, there is Strokey's utility as well, but then will Pixel alone be able to hold all of this off? He's seeing a lot of footsteps. Two people dash into the U-Haul straight to their deaths. Maybe this is the mistake that they were looking for. And Pixel is able to punish it. Upgrade to a Vandal as well. Yeah, finally things are looking up for Team Valor. But this might just be a bunch of consolation frags at this point. They have a very tall task ahead of them. They need, what, 10 rounds in a row? 9, if my math is correct, if they win this round.
Right. Definitely, and it's gonna be up to White Horse and Hyvan to try and damage a little bit of their economy. Valor, even though it's like really broken at this point, even if they win out this round, they're gonna have to go for broken buys in the second round. Vada will happily take that. They don't want to save up at all. They know that their economy is in a much better position as well. And they're just gonna go in for that kill. Hyvan, unfortunately, might be forced to save along with Antidote because they don't have enough money in the bank to go in for full buys. They're gonna go in for a half buy and eco. They can afford to at this point because 9 rounds that need to be taken by Valor, at least they have full shields and weaponry in tow to facilitate that. And if they can win out this particular round and the next one, it's going to come a little bit easier, but this is the do or die round. In fact, every single round is the do or die round for Valor at this point. And playing under that sort of pressure is just not conducive to a proper comeback.
Exactly. You need to have all your wits about you. If not wits, you need to have all your teammates right beside you, and that actually nets them quite a lot of kills.
Deathmaker right now, contemplating a push on towards B, joined by Hyvan. They do not want to go there. Unfortunately, the bird flash goes in directly underneath the wolf here.
What? Okay, let's not comment anything about what we just saw from Hyvan and Viper over there.
Sure, okay, but the bird flash landing in the corner of the window, flashing his teammate Deathmaker in the process. That was just a little blooper made by Hyvan at that point. It's completely fine, it's alright. He could get away with it. They're now gonna have the Vandals in tow. It's gonna be the clash of these two teams, the more equally matched clash at this point, because GODLIKE now has the Vandals to work with. They also have 3 ultimates in tow. 2 of their members 1 point away each from their own ultimates. It's gonna be a heavy round for Valor to counter.
Ready for the recon dot. Rexy just, the moment it lands, he's gonna shoot it out. He just knows everything that Valor are gonna do. Buster finally getting that kill is great, but White Horse doesn't have his eyes open. The game is able to get that kill as well. This is the second time Valor have played very aggressively towards B long and actually made this play work. This is the second time in a row, but I think that GODLIKE is going to get used to this by now, and they will be prepared for it. Oh, Spike's been killed, Antidote also killed. Finally, Valor are starting to put together a bunch of rounds, and this is good. But you know what? I'm starting to get really worried right now. GODLIKE are probably just going to go for a random quasi-buy with a bunch of upgraded pistols and SMGs and whatnot. But they have all 5 ultimates ready. They've got a lot of rounds available in the bag in case they want to experiment and, you know, throw a spanner in the works of Team Valor. They just need to go in and get a random bunch of kills, destroy their economy. They don't even need to win the round right now.
Right now, we do see that the broken buys coming out from GODLIKE. It's not going to be an eco round. They do have the ultimates out. Antidote's going to pop the Blade Storm. He has the Frenzy to work with. 2,700 credits in the board for him. The game is going to use the running back with the teleporter. The curveball goes down towards that site area. He'll spot out Deathmaker, but he does not know that Antidote's right there in tow. He uses 1 blade to kill him off. I mean, all of the blades to kill him off. He's going to refresh all of the 5 blades for the Jet. It means that they're going to be able to push on towards that particular side. Hyvan uses Seekers in that particular position. Bullet, though, using that Phantom to great effect against the Sheriffs here. Getting the kills all across the board. 3 kills for him. VL Pixels takes down the last kill on towards Antidote. And a resounding flawless comes down from Valor. This is the thing that I was talking about. This is the way that they need to take out the rounds. They need to take the aggression. They need to take the game to GODLIKE. They need to fight aggression with even more aggression from their side. But it has to be calculated. It has to be in tow, in tandem with your teammates and utilizing the utilities that you have at your disposal. They did that to perfection. I just wish that they are able to retain this for the rounds that are about to come, because GODL, they've just upgraded to assault rifles. They have 3 ultimates until the Killjoy Lockdown, the Showstopper, and the Orbital Strike. 3 critical ultimates already in hand for GODL.
Yeah, they better use it properly to end this game right here and right now, because if they don't, Pixel will walk away. He's gonna take everything you give him and more. Give him an inch, he's probably gonna try to take a mile off of you, but here comes the Hunter's Fury. Is it gonna connect though? Doesn't spot out quite a lot of players, but he knows there's someone on the other side. So while he's busy staying over here, the assault has already begun on the A side. Luckily for them, the game is good enough to hold off. Flashes exchanged all over the side, but the game is gonna get the spike carrier. Hyvan's down right now, and this might just mean that VALOR can walk away with yet another round. Rexy, on the other hand, has sneaked into a very uncomfortable position. Pixel is not ready for that angle. Gets revealed. The game will try to pre-fire him, but Rexy still wins that duel. That was not supposed to happen. Even the lockdown has been committed right now. They need to get out of here, or they need to challenge him right the hell now. Bird is gonna sneak back into the bottoms area, but his position's been telegraphed. They're very far away. It will allow Whitehorse to pick up the spike, and maybe even get over towards the B side right now. But you know what I'm worried about the most? The fact that Team VALOR do not have players in position to trade each other out. I feel like if Whitehorse is gonna clutch this, it's gonna be because they can't trade.
Right, he taps the spike once. He has a lot of time to work with. Might have been the better play to just go for the spike plan at this point, but he did not know the positioning of the players. He knows where Bullet is at this point, gets the headshot out towards him. He gets spotted out by the recon dart at just the last second. He's going to position himself towards a position where he can't be wallbanged through the green boxes. Buster, though, has full HP and 45 points of armor to work with. He knows where Whitehorse is, gets a little bit of a tag on towards him, and the critical kill that Buster needed to win. He comes in clutch for his team. He knows exactly where Whitehorse was. Unfortunately, Whitehorse did not have a lot of HP to work with. And Team VALOR, they pull back 5 rounds. They're gonna force GODL onto another broken by / eco round. And right now, VL are comfortably in a position where their economy is really, really good. But it doesn't mean that the extra credits are gonna do them any favors, because they can't afford to lose a single round at this point.
They have 2 crucial ultimates ready at this point too. The Showstopper on Buster, the Neural Theft on Strokey. This is definitely gonna discourage Team Godlike from pushing in Helter Skelter, because they will be afraid of that Showstopper if Buster survives to use it. Boombots exchanged. Both can reveal the positions, but not actionable information gained for VL right now, because Godlike have always been going for this default. They need something more concrete than this in order to actually do something off of it. Lots of snake bites being committed to keep the players Heaven and Antidote at bay. Pixel actually gets the better of him. He's going to be forced to get outside, but before he goes down, he will plant a bullet in the brain of Antidote, so at least his life doesn't go in vain.
Hashtag worth at that point. The ultimate being utilized to kill 1 player while he uses the assault rifle to kill off 2 attackers. That was an insane clutch play coming out in that Jowers area. Reminiscent of Rexy using that control to great advantage. And the mollies coupled with the smoke and the Viper wall is just absolutely devastating. Deathmaker, though, getting a critical kill on towards Strokey in that area. He's been struggling really, really hard in this particular game. Unfortunately, not being able to find the kills on towards the attackers at this point. The game is going to contemplate peeking out towards that box area. They instantly regret it. Recon dart goes down, but Bullet is there with the operator. Saves the team from that nanoswarm grenade, but Deathmaker is going to get that headshot with the Phantom. He's going to throw out the paint shells to try and circumvent a push coming out from them. The Molly goes down. The game, though, getting a crew shot with the Phantom on towards Rexy and on towards Deathmaker. Means that the round is going to get sealed off. Godlike showing a case of the nerves here. How the tables have turned here, ladies and gentlemen. VALOR look to be in the complete dictation of this entire match at this point. They're the ones dictating the pace. They're the ones going aggressive, getting things off at crucial times. They've put themselves 6 rounds on the scoreboard for this particular half. They're now sitting at 12-8, only 4 rounds to go before they go to OT.
This is the point where Gauntlet starts sweating bullets. They're constantly running out of money. They constantly find themselves in this quasi-buy rounds, and they're not able to seal the deal. Bullet was jiggle peeking in and out of that corner, just keeping both the members of Godlike train their crosshairs towards him, and then of course the game comes in, sprays both of them down in one fell swoop. What a great case of bait and switch. But this time there might just be a big toxic pit standing in their way. Pixels has already used his Viper's pit, and that's going to discourage anyone from coming through. Till someone decides to challenge it, and that's all right. But I am not fully in the favor of this. They used 2 ultimates in order to deal with Godlike on just an eco round. I mean, sure, you need every round you can get, but I don't know, I kind of feel like this will leave them a little more vulnerable than the last few rounds. The game getting the last 2 exit frags, stylish, good enough for now, but yeah, they had to commit so many resources in order to win this one. 2 whole ultimates just to win an eco round?
Well,
Yeah,
at this
I'm kind of
point,
concerned.
Valor. Yeah, well, at this point, Valor are desperate for rounds because they need to seal off every single round at this point without getting into that. And honestly, they have 2 ultimates in tow right now. They have the Showstopper and the Run It Back from the Phoenix. Both are aggressive ultimates, not in terms of
Yeah,
utilities.
good enough.
They are good enough. You can use that on the teleporters. You can use that on every single site that GODL might push up through. Right now, GODL have the assault rifles in tow. They have bought them. Now they're picking out to a very slow playstyle that we've actually seen. Bullet though is gonna get spotted out by the Tasmanian Tiger, knowing that the operator is hosted there. But that information is not gonna go do any favors for GODL as Icon gets taken down. But Antidote is right there in tow, taking down the game. No one's covering his body with a Run It Back. Unfortunate stuff coming out from VL. They got a critical kill, but they lost their entry fragger here. Deathmaker taking down Buster in that particular area is going to mean doom for the rest of VL. They have to make this rotation. They don't have the ultimate to work with. The Pain Cell goes down straight into the teleporter, but Strokey is going to come in clutch at the exact same time when Deathmaker had his back turned to him. That's going to mean that Bullet is in there in that CT area. He has an operator to work with. He can't push in through without the rest of his teammates joining him. Pixels and Strokey. The 3 members of VL. Bullet takes down Whitehorse. It's looking to be grim at this point. The Hunter's Fury comes down from Bullet at a premature time. He doesn't have the information, but he does manage to take Rexy with 1 tag on that elbow area. Bullet takes down Antidote. The time is running out. Is it gonna be death for Rexy? Rexy gets killed. The timer is running out. Bullet needs to do something, and he needs to do it right now. Rexy holding on to that area. Bullet has to rush this. He has to do something. And he finds the shot on towards Bullet. Oh my goodness. When it looked to be down and out from GODL, Rexy coming in clutch, sealing the round for his team, getting 2 kills from the pushes coming in from Hookah. Oh my god, that was such an amazing clutch. Cool as a cucumber. Losing out members left, right, and center to operators and pushing out members from teleporters. And he does not flinch. He takes 1 shot of the Sheriff, goes back on towards the spike plant site, knows where the Sova is coming from, and gets the headshot. What a play to seal off this round after a very shaky performance in the second half.
I feel
feel
so
like-
bad for Bullet. He did so much to create impact for his team. So many kills with the operator, getting the kills onto the players of Godlike who were overextending and trying to find out information as to where the retake is going to come from. So all those op kills came through. He even had no information while he was using his Hunter's Fury. He was just firing them on the more common spots, hoping that he will tag someone. And he did tag Rexy. He dealt him quite a lot of damage. And I thought that should have been enough to get the round in the bag, but Rexy, my goodness, how do you pull that off? A 2 HP clutch, pre-firing the last guy to get that deal sealed. My goodness, Rexy, take a bow.
Take a bow indeed, but we're going to break that down for you in this particular map with the match highlights, the AMD match highlights that are going to come up on screen right now for you. And Crips, the way that we witnessed this was just an absolute dominating showcase performance in the first half. And I feel like this entire series has been the curse of the second half for both these teams. Both these teams struggled to find an answer against each other in the second halves of the game after a very confident showing of, you know, power and skill in their respective first halves. And that looked to be the case here as well. Godlike absolutely taking the fight to VL in the defensive round. But then something happened to GODL in the attack, and VALOR, despite losing out the pistol round, they managed to pull back so many rounds that left Godlike in a very precarious situation. Even the last round was so much of a coin toss. It was just a stack of cards they were just resting on at that point. And the scoreline just doesn't do this game justice. We've seen so much back and forth between these two teams that I don't know. Despite GODL winning, I'm really excited to see Valor in the subsequent games because of the display that they've actually shown us in the defensive halves that they played both maps in.
Yeah, and that's what I was concerned about before the map even started. We knew that Valor is really strong on defense. It's just that them starting on the attacking side did not give them enough breathing room. I feel like if the tables were turned and if they were the ones who started on defense, I think this game could have been a lot closer. And they did a decent job of figuring out what the setup of Godlike looks like in the second half. Like, they reached 12, they reached map and match point, and that's when Valor said, this is where the box stops, you are not moving a step further.
And of course, that is what they actually set out to do, and that is what they did. They absolutely put up a brick wall of a defense in the first half. And honestly speaking, that last round just had my heart pumping so much at that point. Oh my goodness. What an amazing showcase of skill that we just witnessed. And this has just been one of the matches that, like, I mean, this has been a staple TC Gauntlet match, like back and forth, with an insane clutch to seal out the game. But we're going to break down the rest of the series when we head over to the analyst desk after this. So stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be back. But this is me, Red Bro, and Crip signing off from the caster's desk. I'll be joining you in the analyst desk real soon. So don't go anywhere as we break down the game play by play and the series as well.
Hey guys, and welcome back. This time we're with the analyst desk here at the TC Gauntlet Season 1, powered by WD Black and AMD Ryzen Radiant. What a match. Best of 3. We went into 2 maps, and congratulations, Godlike Esports, for securing a point for themselves. Now, we heard so much about what you, Ripro, and also Crips, what both you had to say. CA, what are your afterthoughts on this best of 3?
I think it's exactly as Rebro said it at the end of the casting session. Like the scoreline just doesn't do the match justice. It was so back and forth. Both the teams were really close to each other. It was just Rexy coming out with a huge clutch to close it off. I think I am excited to see more of Valor, but Godlike doing well to get it 2-0.
All right. So let's just pull up the group standings very quick just to have a look at all of the standings now and whatnot. Before we do get into that, who was some of the players that you felt from Godlike Esports that really impacted and helped them in securing this victory, Ripbro?
I feel like Deathmaker, along with Hyvan and Antidote, these
Mm-hmm.
three players were just absolutely crucial in the machine, the well-oiled machine that GODL just put on the map in terms of the defense, in terms of the attack. Even when they were on defense, you really couldn't tell who was attacking and who were defending, because GODL, they played such an aggressive high line. It was just absolutely mesmerizing to watch.
All right, so let's pull up the group standings. So Godlike Esports having won their first match here, and they are the last one in Group A to kind of get their ranking. So there you see Godlike Esports shifted up together with Team Inazuma, Global Esports, Force One Esports, and because Team Valor did not take a single map, they're not gonna get points here. So that is 0 there for them. But this is the current ranking, the current standings in Group A. So moving forward from this, right? All these teams, they have more games to play. Um, CA, on the case of Team Valor, how do you think they should approach their next few matches? What is it that they were kind of lacking here, where they ultimately missed the mark?
So when I look back across the two maps, like map one especially, I felt like the strongest phase was when like Buster was really creating space on one side of the map, and Pixels was using the chaos on like either nearby on a different power point or on the other side of the map to like take value territory for themselves. And I felt like that was lacking in map two because Pixels on the solo Viper controller, it just too much pressure on one agent to do multiple things. Like he was lurking, but he was also meant to be alive for the controller utility to be up. So I want them to sort of ease up their composition a little bit because we saw that they have the raw talent to match up. They have the fortitude to pull back from an almost impossible position to a possible situation. So it's just a matter of, I think, the agents and the roles itself within the team to refine it up.
All right, and after this brilliant performance by Godlike Esports, Ripro, how do you think that this is going to help them and carry them through to the next few stages of the tournament?
I feel like one of the main issues that GODL have going for themselves is the fact that on attack they're not as convincing as they when they are on defense. Maybe it might have been a case of the nerves. It might have been a case of different composition put together by Valor and the way that the opponents were playing. But they really need to shore up these lackings in attack when they're going in. They're going in towards these sites without as much coordination as they showcase on defense. Maybe the utility usage is best used when they know where the attackers are coming from, when they know that they have to take the initiative.
Hmm.
They're not very proactive when taking the initiative themselves, and you've seen that throughout both these maps on Ascent and on Bind. On attack, they were just struggling to find a defensive wall against Valor. It might be the credit to Valor at that point. In fact, it is credit to Valor at that point because of the fact that their defense was so good. But on Bind, I feel like their attack left a lot to be desired, especially given the fact that they were leading this charge to 10-2. Dropping so many rounds at the second half was just not expected of them. And I feel like if they can get the utility usage good, but utility usage nailed down, play around Hyvan, Deathmaker, and Antidote, using those flashes, using those utilities to get themselves onto site and creating so much space, they can look to be a very formidable force in Group A.
All right. So this ultimately brings us to the end of the second half, and also to the end of of all the first matches that these teams have to play. So it's all done. Group B and Group A, everything is finished. So remember to like and subscribe, hit that bell icon so you get notifications whenever we are live. I'm pretty sure you guys want to keep up with the next stage of the tournament. Remember to check out the links as well in the description. You're not going to be disappointed. So until tomorrow, I hope you guys take care. My name is Apollonia. I was your host for today. And thank you, Red Bro and CA, for being here. And it was a truly wonderful day. Very exhilarating matches, both in the first half and the second half. So catch you guys tomorrow. Take care, good night, and happy gaming.
One